Now, we've just had the 30th anniversary of the Homosexual Law Reform Bill becoming law, 30th rather, 30th anniversary. And this week also in Wellington, it's Gay Pride Week at Victoria University. So we thought we'd combine the two. But Peter, you were there. Can you tell us a little bit of what was the mood? What was the tenor like?
Well, it's probably one of the most tense times that I've experienced in politics. It went on for about 18 months. The level of the debate was passionate on both sides. The opposition, the way in which they presented their arguments by any standards today was simply disgusting.
In what way?
Oh, the language, the descriptions, the threats.
Really?
The intimidation, the sort of the quasi-Nuremberg rallies that took place out on the Parliament grounds. This was intolerance writ large. And it was a pretty brave group of 49 MPs who voted for it, 44 voted against.
Did you waver? Did you
No,
waver?
I didn't. I was very strongly of the view right from the beginning that this had to happen. I was counselled against supporting the bill because my seat was a marginal one and people said you will pay a political price for this. I surveyed my electorate.
Did you worry?
No, because I surveyed my electorate which showed that it supported the bill, both parts 1 and part 2. But to go through it, and we had a reunion of all of the people who were involved just last week, it's very hard to describe it now because it was all so unreal in the context of today's...
Good grief.
When Lewis's bill, the marriage equality bill, went through a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah. The debate was actually much more refined and dignified and responsible than was the case with the Homosexual Law Reform Bill. And I think that's a mark of how we've shifted.
All right.
But honestly, 30 years ago...
Before we go to Hayley and the guests, what were the anti-people saying? What are some of the things they were saying?
Oh, well, Norman Jones would talk about sodomites, and there was a clip that I heard of him on the radio the other day where he said that that you would... forget the age of 16, it would be 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds who would be being sodomized in classrooms. He knew about these things because he was a teacher. He didn't see the irony of what he was saying. But this was being said up and down the country at public meetings that the people who supported the bill were going to burn in hell forever, etc., etc. Just utterly extreme nonsense.
We will. What do you think about that, Chris? As a young MP, we've never seen that type of vitriol. What do you reckon?
I was born in '83, and so when it happened, I was 3, so I don't remember it at all, obviously. But I've read the Hansard because I'm very interested in the politics and the history of this period, and I agree with Peter. It's hard to imagine actually in 2016 that people could say things like that and be like that, and we have come a long way. We've got a lot of challenges, and Jan and I addressed a rally in Wellington about some of those challenges. We've got a long way to go, but amazing to think
Lewis,
where it's
before we
come
go,
from.
Lewis, so you've made history in your own sense as well 3 years ago. When you think about this, the Homosexual Law Reform Bill, what do you think of it, and what do people watching now need to know?
I think about people like Fran, Fran Wild, who was such a strong, passionate leader who, with people like Peter and other people within our parliament, stood up for the LGBTI community, but it was also against discrimination. For me, I'm incredibly proud of our country's history in terms of our social justice and civil rights. And so when I think about the debate, I think about what we've been through to get to where we are now, and the future is really about our young people.
Raising awareness, is it really necessary? 30 years on, it's all done. We're in a progressive, safe place now. There's no more that needs to be done, surely.
No, we've still got quite a bit of work to do, and the three of us are on the cross-party working Rainbow Network to be able to try and encourage change through Parliament. So at the moment, there's still real problems in our schools. They're really unsafe for a lot of our kids, and nobody's monitoring that. We don't have one LGBTI organisation that has permanent funding to be able to address the results of that discrimination.
All right, we'll come back to you.
And transgender people don't even have access to healthcare.
And transgender as well. Well, let's go to Hayley.
Yes, I'm here with Jay Glam and Duncan Hope. And 3 such young people as ourselves cannot remember it happening. But I'm sure you can appreciate the legacy left for yourself, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. Personally, I'm super grateful that the bill did pass. 30 years on, we are greatly accepted by the community. I live my life daily as a woman, loving it to pieces, but I do believe we do need lots of support as a transsexual, especially with medical help. With high rates of suicide, I think 40% of transsexuals do commit suicide. That's massively high considering.
What sort of discrimination do you see out there still?
Well, personally, I'm pretty hot, so I don't get much discrimination.
It's true.
But lots of my other transsexual friends do get lots of discrimination from society. It's not on, but yeah.
Duncan, you obviously know that it's still out there, in the world especially. You're organising Orlando We Love You. What is that about?
So these are two fundraising events, raising money for the victims of the Orlando mass shooting. So when I heard this, I thought, as a creative person, there is something that I can do. So put the call out on my Facebook page, and a whole bunch of wonderful performers got in touch. And we've now got two really awesome shows coming up next week.
When? Tell us exactly when.
Friday, July the 22nd at 8:30 and Sunday, July 24th at 3:30, both at Fringe Bar on Allen Street.
Do you think in New Zealand that we accept gay, transgender and lesbian people more than, say, America, let's say?
Absolutely.
Yes?
Definitely, without a doubt. Absolutely.
There you go. Back to you, Wallace.
Hey, a round of applause for both Duncan and Jay Glam. Just a little bit of fabulosity there with Jay. If you think she's good on those issues, wait till you hear her on the radio talking about fashion. She's dynamite. Thank you, Jay, for coming onto the show. What do you hear when you hear that? More needs to be done, Chris. What more could the government be doing in terms of funding?
Well, I think we can probably do a bit more in terms of some of the organisations that Jan mentions. Nikki Kay, one of my colleagues, is a real champion for this, Minister for Youth, and she's put some money in towards Rainbow Youth, which is an organisation that works with some of those young people perhaps at risk from that community. We could probably do more, and as Jan mentions, I'm a member of that cross-party group, and I'm pretty passionate about it.